Speaking of which, let's play Cory Booker's
Oh boy.
video. It's a well done video. Like I like the. It starts with a drummer.
Universal love, huh?
Yeah. Let's just play a little bit of like I can't watch the whole thing again, but let's
Some
play
of us haven't
a
watched
little
this
bit.
yet, Sam. Can we do the whole
Have
thing?
you not?
I have not. This is all. I wanted to wait to have a real live reaction to it.
All right, we're just gonna
Oh,
play
man,
the
I'm
first.
already nauseous,
We'll play
Michael.
the first 20. I'll tell you what. We'll play the first 20 seconds and then the last 20 seconds, and then maybe we'll play more of it when Virgil sits down with us. But here it is. One drum.
In America, we have a common pain, but what we're lacking is a sense of common purpose.
Fuck yeah.
What's up? Amen.
I
It's a
grew up knowing
foreshadowing.
that the only way we can make change is when people come together. When I was a baby, my parents tried to move us into a neighborhood with great public schools, but realtors wouldn't sell us a home because of the color of our skin. A group of white lawyers who had watched the courage of civil rights activists were inspired to help black families in their own community, including mine. And they changed the course of my entire life. Because in America, courage is contagious. My dad told me, boy,
Pause it
never
for 1
forget
second.
where you
Now,
came
so we're
from or
left
how many
hanging.
people
I don't
had to
know. I don't know Cory Booker's story enough to know what those white lawyers did.
It
Yeah.
helped his family move into a suburb.
Oh, did they do that?
And I believe that's the story. I'm not even, it's a cheap shot maybe, but like, where's a picture of him with Shmuley Boteach when he's talking about like housing discrimination? It's like no housing discrimination here, but home bulldozing there.
It's a little bit early to roll that out in your intro.
No,
Mike's
no,
not
but
pulling any
Boteach
punches
always
this morning.
makes an early appearance.
But let's go now. Fast forward to the last 20 seconds because that's when the music really starts to swell. There's more drummers now, and go ahead.
There's more drum.
instead of shuffling more children into cages and coffins, where we see the faces of our leaders on television and feel pride, not shame. It is not a matter of can we. It's a matter of do we have the collective will, the American will. I believe we do. Together, we will channel our common pain back into our common purpose. Together, America, we will rise.
So
I'm Cory Booker, and I'm running for president of the United States of America.
Yeah, we know.
Now part of it is like, look, I have spent a decent amount over the past 25 years doing voiceovers and in one form or another, and I can't help but see him in the studio when he's hitting every point. And the poetry slam that he went to get the cadence like that. Mm-hmm. And I am Sam Seder saying that. And now, but most people won't have that problem, and I know that's sort of petty response to it. But
Yeah.
Kamala Harris had her big speech, 20,000 people. That's pretty impressive. Booker has this; it shows some polish. But both of these two candidates are running on sort of like pretty general stuff. Now, Kamala Harris followed it up with a town hall on CNN where she came out very forcefully for Medicare for all, and then the next day, sort of, well,
Not so much.
You know, what are you gonna do?
A little less forceful.
Yeah. And so I don't know. What's your sense?
Okay. So this is my line throughout the entire primaries. I don't like anybody. All of them are going to have, like, as much as I like Bernie Sanders, if he runs, like, which we all assume he is, he's got some issues that I just do not like about him. But, you know, he just came out against BDS unnecessarily. So he could have made his point without even prefacing it with that. He has a couple of blind spots, but I only bring that up to say that I don't like any of them. But whoever wins this primary, I'm going to love that person, put on their T-shirt. I'm going to go door to door. You can call me a neoliberal shill. You can thank me later when we're not hemorrhaging even more judicial appointments and even more Supreme Court picks. So, I can easily jump on board with like how much I really, really dislike Cory Booker. I think I got a video out there called Cory Booker is trash. Feel free to go give me some clicks because I explained in great detail how inauthentic he is, right? Phony. But man, I will eat my socks and my words. If he gets this nomination, I'm going to put on a Cory Booker T-shirt and I'm going to go door to door and I'm going to talk with the same cadence and tenor. It might, and say, you need to go. It's almost like a Jim Kirk. You're like, you really need to go vote for Cory Booker. But that's my take, man. I'm not in love with any of these candidates. And I think it's important for us realistically to not approach this like one of them was our boyfriend or our girlfriend. Like, we don't have to defend their honor. We just need to, let's fight out these primaries, see who has the best policies, realistically, who has the best ground game, because that's what's going to matter the most. And then when it's all said and done, let's get this madman out of the White House.
I've been in a committed relationship with Bernie since 2016, but do you think though, when you look at this video, just like, he's not as good in my estimation a performer as Kamala Harris, and he's also doing what, like, Obama did it better, to be blunt.
He's running for vice president.
Okay, that's
I
want to see what the logic is.
There is half of the people, but we'll get to more of this.
I found it very revealing because insofar as the only actual policy thing or the only specific thing he talked about in there is like, oh, my family, we had the money to buy a house, but they wouldn't sell it to us because of the color of our skin. And that's a problem that he can help you with. If you don't have the money to buy a house, he's probably out of ideas. And that's what it means to be a neoliberal.
I mean, to be fair, he did expand affordable housing in Newark. Now, there was also a lot of things that he did that were not particularly good that he did in Newark. But fortunately for him, Newark was it remains an incredibly poor and sort of debilitated city.
But governed now by a progressive education activist who ran explicitly on repudiating all of Booker's work there.
And fortunately for Booker, when he came on the scene there, it was a disaster. Like about as disastrous as it could be. But yeah, I think your perspective on this is an interesting one. I guess I have one question for you in terms of Kamala Harris, which this came up. It seems to me that there's going to be an opportunity for candidates like her to avoid dealing with going too deep into the specifics of policies. Like, look, she came out and was forceful in saying no private insurers and then had to back off that a day later. That to me suggests that her relationship to that issue was not necessarily as deep as she wanted to communicate.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But I think when you have 20 people in a race, you can maintain that. Like you can hide quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the one area where I think that she is not going to be able to hide, and I'm curious as to your perspective on this, is her
record.
Her record as a prosecutor. And I am not against all prosecutors. I think you could be a very good prosecutor and healthy. Like I was hoping Zephyr Teachout would be one. But the question to me is, in my mind, is will the Black Lives Matter folks who are best situated to address this at least first, right, with Kamala Harris, the people who have worked in criminal justice reform, across the board, they are best situated to address this first to Kamala Harris. My question is, are they going to do it?
Yeah, it really depends. So I mean, if I'm going to answer this question honestly, it might open up a can of worms here. So the honest answer is they probably will, and more than happily do it because of her clear and abysmal record, targeting truancy and with policies that disproportionately affect people of color because they disproportionately affect impoverished communities. And so it's really a slam dunk, and it's already happening, right? So let's be clear. Like, there are plenty of voices who are not like officially affiliated with Black Lives Matter who are speaking out because of just their personal opinion with regard to Kamala and her track record, and more importantly, her attempt to spin herself to be a progressive prosecutor, which she was not. So it's already happening. It's going to continue to happen. But where it gets complicated is if there is this expectation that they have to do it. For one, because then they'll, realistically be like, well, no, I don't have to do it. If I feel like doing it, I will. And is that petty? Yeah, but it's also a dynamic that you have to keep in mind. Like, if the expectation is for Black Lives Matter to save you all from Kamala Harris, then that's not gonna resonate really well with us. And I just use that kind of like categorically. I'm not even affiliated with Black Lives Matter, to be sure. But just keep that in mind, that people are doing it individually. But everybody pitch in, and if you really dislike Kamala as much as you probably should, let's just keep repeating her videos over and over again. I think they speak for themselves.
Yeah, I think so. And I think once that wall is breached, right? Once she is put on the defensive for her record as a prosecutor, then you're going to start to see the people who are coming in saying like, and here's who you didn't prosecute. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to open up a whole nother group of folks, because if she gets lumped in with Booker as a friend of big finance, that is going to set up, that's ultimately going to be the dividing line. But we shall see. And we're going to talk more about this with Virgil, Texas in a minute. But